According to AfriForum CEO, Kali Kriel, the civil rights group will institute legal proceedings to seize assets belonging to economic freedom fighters if the party does not pay outstanding court orders on costs this week. This statement was made on Sunday, the 2nd of June 2019. AfriForum placed the EFF and its leader, Julius Malema, on terms to pay a further R109,098.30 before this coming Friday, the 7th of June 2019, for an outstanding court order on costs. Should the money not be paid by then, AfriForum would again start a process to seize assets belonging to EFF. This money pertained to the order on costs, which AfriForum obtained against the EFF and Malema on the 14th of November 2018, after the EFF and Malema's attempt to obtain an urgent court order to prevent AfriForum from removing the property of EFF and auctioning it off failed. This legal bill had since been taxed, and therefore AfriForum could now enforce the payment thereof. The court order was one of 5 orders which AfriForum had obtained against Malema and the EFF to date. Of the 5 costs orders, Malema and the EFF had paid 2, amounting to 235,000 rand. With the payment of this enforceable third order, 2 more orders would be outstanding. The enforcement of the last mentioned is being held back, because one must still be taxed, and the EFF appealed against another one. It is estimated that the total of the 5 orders as to costs amounts to about 550,000 rand, Kriel said. Since March 2017, AfriForum has obtained 5 cost orders against Malema and the EFF in 5 different appearances in the North Gauteng High Court. It is estimated that the total amount due in terms of the cost orders is around 550,000 rand. After the EFF and Malema paid in total more than 235,000 rand, the amount owed stands at an estimated 315,000 rand. According to AfriForum, the outstanding 3 cost orders will only be paid later, as 2 must still be taxed, and 1 is subject to an appeal application brought by Malema and the EFF. The 5 cost orders stem from the court case that AfriForum brought against Malema and the EFF last year to obtain an interdict to prevent them from inciting people to occupy land illegally. The North Gauteng High Court found in AfriForum's favour on the 7th of March 2017 and granted the interdict with cost. Malema and the EFF then brought an application to have the interdict set aside, which would have been heard on the 12th of September 2017. However, the court had to postpone the case after Malema and the EFF submitted their heads of argument in their own case too late. The judge consequently granted a punitive cost order against Malema and the EFF. When the case resumed on the 18th of February 2018, Malema and the EFF's legal representatives failed to appear, and the case was settled in AfriForum's favour, and a further cost order issued against Malema and the EFF. The other 2 cost orders were issued on the 14th of November 2018, in AfriForum's favour, against Malema and the EFF in 2 separate cases in the North Gauteng High Court. The first order applies to a case of contempt of court brought by AfriForum against Malema and the EFF, after Malema and the EFF continued to encourage land grabs despite a standing interdict that AfriForum had obtained to prohibit them from inciting people to occupy land. Malema and the EFF's legal team failed to submit their heads of argument in time, which means that the case will have to be heard later. With this, the EFF and Malema incurred yet another cost order against them. In the second case, the EFF and Malema attempted to obtain an urgent court order to prevent AfriForum from removing and selling the EFF's property at auction to recover legal costs. The court ruled that Malema and the EFF's case was not urgent, and issued another cost order against Malema and the EFF. AfriForum intends to use the money for legal proceedings to oppose attempts to amend the country's constitution to legalize expropriation of land without compensation. This is the statement of Carly Creel. We will fight Malema and the EFF with their own money. Please check in the description box below for the links to the sources of this report. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, share and subscribe.